If you know you and your spouse's desire type, it is going to help you understand yourself and your spouse so much more, and hopefully help take care of some of those irritating disagreements and tension or simply just confusion around desire issues in the bedroom. So hi, I'm Amanda. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and also a certified Christian sex therapist. So in this video, I want to go over 3 different sexual desire types. You may have one, you may have both, you might find that you kind of change over time, but I think it's really going to help you in your marriage. Sexual desire or interest is not something somebody else can provide for you. It's already inside of you from creation, but you have to allow it to surface. So there might be conditions that are required that help you to do that, but your spouse needs to be cooperative for those, but not necessarily responsible for those. Just kind of want to throw that out there before I dive in. Okay, so type 1 is more of a spontaneous initiating desire. So with this desire, this is kind of the one that you see mostly all over TV. It is desire all on your own. No one needed to help you, nothing needed to start in any way, shape, or form. You just have desire. This is often kind of considered the most correct or the right type of desire. So with this desire, you just automatically all on your own have desire. The second type is more of a secondary receptive desire. So this desire often comes after a spark, after a massage, foreplay, perhaps 10 minutes in, now you're interested, or you saw something sparked your interest. So often secondary desire usually isn't desire from the get-go initially, so perhaps you weren't even thinking about sex at all. So, but then after some foreplay, 10 minutes in, now you're interested. So secondary. So oftentimes this is much more common for women. Again, not always, definitely can happen for men as well, but oftentimes women are not interested, and 10 minutes in, now they're much more interested. So to help that make much more sense, at least it did for me, was when I was in class, this was an example the professor gave that just really stuck with me and helped make it make so much more sense. So for example, we're sitting in class and the professor goes, starts describing chocolate and maybe has a picture up on the thing, I can't quite remember, but it's describing yummy good chocolate, maybe the melted guy, anyway, all delicious. And then he says, how many of you are interested in chocolate? How many of you would like some chocolate if I gave you some chocolate? And we're like, right here, I would like some chocolate. He's like, okay, how many of you were thinking about chocolate before I said anything about chocolate? Maybe one lady raises her hand, maybe 2. Yeah, as soon as I got to the seminar, I was wondering, where is the chocolate? He says, okay, so when you look at that and you say, okay, well, you want chocolate now too, say perhaps the lady sitting beside her, and she's like, yeah, I'd like some chocolate. And he's like, well, I don't know, your desire isn't really quite, I don't think you want it enough, because the lady beside you, she actually wanted it before I said anything. So before it was offered to her, she wanted it, she was thinking about it, hers is the only legitimate desire. Well, that's not really true, because the second lady also says, yeah, I want chocolate. Like she has been offered, she is now willing and interested in chocolate. So again, being able to see that it is not that hers is more legit just because she was thinking about it before it was mentioned. It's just different. It's a different type. So that's kind of just a great example of kind of your initiating, like, yeah, I was thinking of chocolate, compared to secondary, which is, well, now that you've offered, now that we've touched, now that you've, touched my heart, or now that you've started massaging, yeah, I think I'd like some chocolate. So it was just such a great example in class that just helped make so much more sense, and being able to see that even though a lot of times people look at the secondary desire and think, well, that's not legitimate desire. That's even a woman who doesn't have desire at all. Oftentimes that woman does have desire. It's just usually more 10 minutes in, 15, 20, whatever it is, minutes in more, where she's had time to relax, she's had some massaging or whatever the case may be, and then she's interested. It doesn't mean that she lacks desire altogether. It's just different. And if you look at the chocolate example, it's still desire. She still is interested in the chocolate. I think oftentimes a lot of people will judge the wife's desire off of the husband's desire, assuming his desire and his way is correct. And perhaps we're judging women off of the wrong measuring tool. Perhaps the woman's desire is actually normal and completely okay, and we've just been measuring her off the wrong tool. The last type, this is more of a non-existent or even resistant type. So it has varying degrees. It can be from, I just don't like sex, not really interested, all the way to a hatred, resist, avoid at all cost sex. So this type is definitely one that hopefully you don't want to stay. This is a spot where assistance sometimes is often needed to help kind of get through whatever is going on that's blocking you, either whether it's relationship stuff in your marriage or physical or all the different possibilities. But again, that is kind of the last type that I wanted to mention that has just a non-existent type at all. If you don't freely and innately have sexual interest, oftentimes there is some type of distraction or hormonal imbalance, anxiety, trauma, some type of barrier that's blocking that expression in you. And so for that, you want to be able to kind of uncover that problem or figure out what's going on and kind of get the help that you need so that you can have that natural expression be expressed within you. So I just wanted to make sure that you understood that it is something that's natural and something that you can have. And again, if there's a complication, that's something to be looking into. Also, as a side note, if you view yourself or your spouse's desire as kind of broken or defective, whether it's too high or too low, oftentimes that is another spot that really can cause a lot of tension in your marriage. And just being able to understand that there are differences. Now, if you do see something that needs help, by all means, but a lot of times just the simply viewing it incorrectly can really cause a lot of harm in your marriage. So if you are interested in learning more, or if you are having struggles in the bedroom, we have some courses linked below. Also have my favorite recommended resources list down below as well for you to click on. So I pray that this message really blesses your marriage, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.